Financial freedom. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about financial freedom, what it looks like to me, what it used to look like to me, and how it has impacted my mental health over the years. And I got to say, man, I feel like a lot of people live inside of social media. And trust me, I was one of those people for a very long time. I've been creating content on YouTube since 2008. And, that's, of course, that's a long time. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where I was finding myself in these situations where I was really struggling mentally because of what other people had. And it's like, where's my Lamborghini? Where's my $1 million mansion? Where's my beach house? Where's my Airbnbs that's generating $20,000 a month? Like, where's mine? Where's mine? Where's mine? Where's mine? Where's mine? And I'm telling you, that's not good for your mental health. And I know there's so many people out there that are living the same exact perspective that I used to live. They're living in the same reality I used to live in. They're looking at it through a telescope instead of a bird's eye view. When you're looking at social media, you're just seeing this much of someone's life. You're not seeing the broad perspective of their life. You're not seeing everything. You're not painting the full picture. And a lot of times, these people on social media, they work their asses off to get to where they're at. It's not like they just got it handed to them overnight. They worked their tails off to get to where they're at. And we don't see that. We see people like Stradman, who's living an incredible life now, but what we don't see is what he was doing 10 years ago, living out of his car, creating content from his vehicle, using McDonald's Wi-Fi to upload videos, things like that. We're not thinking about the grind it took him to get there. We're just thinking about where he's at in the now. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to mess up your mental health. It's going to ruin your entire perspective on life. And you need to take a step back, look at it from a bird's eye view, and then you get to see the full picture. Start asking questions. Well, instead of why don't I have this, it's how did he get there? How did he do this? How did he do that? Or what do I need to do to get one step closer? See, too many of us are trying to sprint in a marathon. And when you're trying to sprint in a marathon, you're going to get burnt out. You know what I mean? When you're trying to sprint in a marathon, it's one of those things where you get winded real quick and you lose the race. And that happens to so many people because of social media, because we're living in social media. We're looking at everything everyone else has and we're saying, why don't I have that? And we're trying to race to get there. That's why so many people, and I mean, there's probably thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that are in crippling debt trying to put on a facade for people for social media. And that's something you don't want to do. So, what does financial freedom look like to me? I can tell you what it looked like to me a few years ago. It looked like being a multimillionaire without a care in the world, being able to do what I want, when I want, have any vehicle I want, living in a multi-million-dollar mansion. That's what it used to look like to me. But that's not financial freedom. Maybe that is to some people, but that's not realistic to most people, the vast majority of us. That's not realistic. And maybe it is in the long term. It's okay to have these unbelievable goals for the future, but once again, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Don't burn yourself out. What we have to do is take a step back, look at it from a bird's eye view, and think, what do I need to do to get to the point where I'm one step closer to my goal? And I can tell you right now, from personal experience, the first thing you need to do is take a step back and look at your current situation. Where am I at right now? Have a conversation with God, get right with Christ, humble yourself, and figure out where you're at right now. So, what was the first step to financial freedom for my wife and I? Number one, we wanted to buy our forever home. And the only reason I say we wanted to buy our forever home is because the home that we fell in love with, that was a very close friend of the family's, came available. And we had no choice but to jump on it because we didn't want to let this opportunity slip through our hands. So we were fortunate enough to get into this house and have over $100,000 in positive equity without spending a dime on renovations. We got lucky, we got lucky. But some ask, that's not really a step in the right direction when you're trying to become financially free. what it was for us. It was for us because we wanted to get to the point to where we're happy and proud of the environment we're bringing our daughters up in. And of course, we fell in love with this property and then the story of it. Now, what does financial freedom look like next week or next year or over the coming months? Well, it looks like getting to a point to where we can set our bank account on cruise control. Set it on cruise control, put everything on auto pay, not have to think about whether or not, oh man, if I pay the electric bill today, I'm not going to have money to put gas in my car for the week, or I'm not going to be able to buy groceries for the week, or I'm not going to be able to do this, that, and the other. It's like, that's what financial freedom looks like to me right now. That's where I'm trying to get right now. But it's okay for that to change. You have to set yourself realistic goals, or else you're just going to constantly be fighting depression and anxiety. When you don't have realistic goals and expectations, and you're not meeting those unrealistic goals and expectations, it's real easy to get into a depressive state. And I know this because I've been there. I've been there. It's not easy to live in social media and look at everyone's lives that they're living and being, man, what do I got to do to get to that point? You need to take a look at yourself and find some realistic goals. And once you meet those goals, you get a shot of dopamine, you get a boost of motivation, and you're like, oh man, now what do I got to do to get to my next goal? And you tackle one goal at a time. And as you tackle those goals, boom, I'm here now. Boom, I'm here now. Boom, you start, finding yourself closer and closer and closer and closer to that goal that you had that's way up here. And now you're like, wow, this may happen. This could potentially be a reality, You don't climb a ladder and skip steps. You climb a ladder one step at a time. And too many people are trying to jump up that ladder rather than climb. And I'm telling you, when you jump on a ladder, you're bound to fall and get hurt. You're bound to fall into a depressive state. So what you have to do, and I'm telling you guys this, as someone who experienced it firsthand, you have to set yourself realistic goals. You have to be able to achieve the goals that you're setting, or else you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for a cold case of depression. And I'm telling you, you don't want to go down that road. You don't want to go down that path. It's not an easy one. With that being said, financial freedom right now to me is getting to a point to where I can set my bank account on cruise control. I can put everything on auto pay and I can forget about it. I don't have to worry. Do I have the money for this? Do I have the money for that? Am I going to have money for food? Am I going to have to, charge a credit card to buy groceries? Am I going to have to charge a credit card to get gas? I don't want to have to worry about doing any of that. That's what financial freedom looks like to me. And I'm fairly confident my wife and I are going to get there this year, 2025. We're going to get there this year. That's our goal. And that's realistic. And you have to set yourself realistic goals. And I can tell you right now from personal experience, when you achieve a goal that you've had set, you get this unbelievable shot of dopamine and you get this incredible boost of motivation. And then you're like, okay, now I need to work harder. Now I need to really put my head to the grindstone and really hustle and really get involved and really, overcome these obstacles that have been in my way that I didn't see them as obstacles I can overcome, but now they are. Now they're there. These goals are within my reach, within my grasp. One step at a time. Don't skip steps when you're climbing a ladder. You'll get there eventually. We got a long life to live, man. I know it's not really a long life. It's a short life here on earth, but it doesn't have to be a depressive one. And at the end of the day, you're in control of your own life. So I hope this, resonated with somebody. If it helped even one person, I'd be happy with that. But I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys listened this far, man, feel free to drop a sub. Maybe, say what's up. I would appreciate it. Y'all have a great day, man. I'll talk to you later. And I'm out of here.